The crucial parts there are the metrics that we have been listening about, right? Be it metrics that you need to consider when you are developing your product or testing the market fit, or looking at different ways in which the consumers and the customers are communicating with you. So these metrics are extremely crucial in that whole process of the product development itself. Now, getting the right KPIs or metrics that you are looking at is very, very crucial to be able to then measure them throughout this process that we've spoken about, and getting to a stage where we are looking at them very, very critically to understand not just how you're doing today, but also in the future, how you're going to look at development of specific aspects of your product. Second, as you look at each of these metrics or KPIs, there are different things that you need to be thinking about. One, of course, the frequency at which you want to track a metric. For example, if you're looking at your website and you're looking at only tracking your metrics, say every 6 hours on how your customers or consumers are interacting with your web page or the app that you might have rolled out, that might not always be the best frequency that you're looking at it. It might need potentially a quicker time span or turnaround between tracking of what's happening, and also building in different levels of AI to understand what are the metrics that might need your attention sooner than later, rather than you having to look through all of the reports or all of the metrics that might have been created for this purpose. Second, as you look at all of this, how do you understand which of these are the ones that need to be automated, and any manual effort taken away from that, so that you can focus on the key part that you are doing, which is developing and streamlining how your product looks, works, interacts with the consumer. And third, finally, as you think about metrics, is also the classic problem of whether you have enough data to actually make decisions basis those KPIs, or you have too much data and you actually need to sift through that to even understand what is it that you need to be looking at. A classic example of this is in today's day and time, almost every device that we have in our hands is filled with sensors. Now, these sensors are giving back information at regular intervals, but those abnormal things that might need to be looked at happen only once in a while. So how do you sift through that white noise of going from a situation where you probably had a dumb device in your hand which was only working and functioning rather than actually transmitting data back, to a situation where you now have a deluge of data? How do you get that white noise out to start focusing on specific metrics, KPIs that need your attention, so that it essentially becomes a push metric for you? It is something that is pushed by the system to you that, okay, this is something, Mr. Product Manager, you need to look at today to actually drive your product forward, rather than you having to look through every single thing that's there and understand exactly what's happening. Second, and some of this you probably would have started realizing as we've gone through, is the whole product and customer interplay. Your measurements need to be at both those levels. First, of course, is measurement of product-centric features, understanding the usage, understanding the stickiness. For example, if it's a website or an app that is finally given to the consumer, or it's a device that is in the consumer's hand, how do you understand what is it in terms of features that the consumers are using? Is there any sort of friction in the whole consumer usage or interaction with that device or product? And then how do you leverage that to be able to understand the right way in which you probably need to tweak your product to get to a stage where you start understanding it from that customer's perspective, and also understanding the key underlying theme of anything that you're putting out there, which is, even though your product is very, very well made, it might be the top of the quality, but end of the day, the consumer or the customer always has an option. And it could actually be, it doesn't always have to be between your product or another product. It can actually be not taking any action and continuing to be in the state that the customer might be. So fighting that through the use of data to actually drive these things forward.